We've all heard the word narcissist. It's used for people who seem arrogant, self-obsessed, or overly confident. But is narcissism really just about loving yourself too much? Or is there something deeper going on beneath the surface? Because in psychology, narcissism is not just confidence. It's often a complex mix of insecurity, identity issues, and defense mechanisms. In this video, we're going to break down the real psychology of narcissism, what it is, where it comes from, and how it shapes behavior. What narcissism actually is. Narcissism exists on a spectrum. On one end, there is healthy self-confidence, believing in yourself, valuing your abilities. On the other end, there is extreme narcissism, often associated with narcissistic personality disorder. This is where a person develops an inflated sense of self-importance, a strong need for admiration, a lack of empathy for others. But the key thing to understand is this. Narcissism is not just about thinking you're superior. It's often about protecting a fragile sense of self. The core of narcissism. At the center of narcissism is something unexpected, deep insecurity. A narcissistic personality often forms when someone struggles with their self-worth. Instead of feeling stable and secure inside, they build a version of themselves that feels powerful, impressive, and superior. This creates a gap between who they truly are and who they present to the world, and maintaining that image becomes extremely important. Childhood and development. Narcissistic traits often develop early in life. There are two common patterns in childhood that can lead to this. The first is excessive praise without grounding. A child may be constantly told they are special, superior, or better than others, without learning emotional balance or empathy. The second is the opposite, emotional neglect or criticism. A child who feels ignored, invalidated, or never good enough may develop narcissistic traits as a way to compensate. In both cases, the result is the same, a fragile identity that depends on external validation. The need for validation. Narcissistic individuals rely heavily on external feedback. They seek admiration, attention, and recognition, because without it, their sense of self starts to feel unstable. This is why they may constantly seek praise, feel upset when ignored, react strongly to criticism. Validation acts like a psychological fuel. Without it, their confidence can collapse quickly. Lack of empathy. One of the defining traits of narcissism is reduced empathy. This doesn't always mean they are incapable of understanding others, but their focus is often centered on their own needs and image. So they may struggle to truly consider other people's feelings. Take responsibility for hurting others. See situations from another perspective. Relationships often become one-sided as a result. Defense mechanisms. Narcissism is built on powerful defense mechanisms. These include denial, refusing to accept flaws or mistakes; projection, blaming others for their own shortcomings; grandiosity, exaggerating achievements or importance. These defenses protect the person from facing their deeper insecurities, but they also prevent growth, because acknowledging weakness would threaten the identity they've built. The hidden reality. Despite appearing confident, many narcissistic individuals experience internal instability. Their self-worth depends heavily on external factors. Success, attention, and admiration temporarily boost their confidence. But when those things are absent, they may feel empty, insecure, or even lost. This is why narcissism is often described as a fragile ego hidden behind a strong exterior. Can narcissism change? Change is possible, but it's difficult because it requires self-awareness, willingness to face insecurity, openness to feedback. These are exactly the things narcissistic defenses try to avoid. However, with effort, reflection, and sometimes professional support, individuals can develop healthier patterns. Narcissism is not just arrogance. It's a complex psychological pattern shaped by early experiences, insecurity, the need for validation, and protective defense mechanisms. What looks like confidence on the surface is often a way of protecting something much more fragile underneath. Understanding this doesn't excuse harmful behavior, but it helps explain it, because behind the grand image, there is often a person still trying to feel enough.